Moral of the story, we live in a very misogynistic world still, and women are continuing this pattern and this legacy of the only thing that matters is when a woman celebrates ending up with a man. Like, they don't take her wanting to celebrate herself at all seriously.
There comes a point in your life when your friendships with the people that you are closest to are going to be tested. Your mettle will be tested. There will be situations that you are put in with these particular individuals that are ultimately going to dictate whether or not they are going to survive in your life long term. Some will and some will not. And what we have here today is a perfect demonstration of what I would like to call the delusional friend. There's not anything even necessarily wrong with this lady. I just sort of think she lost a plot when it comes to the way she believes friendships are built, and her reasoning for being upset is a little wild in my opinion. So why don't we just check this out and you be the judge of it and you let me know.
That's something. I conducted a social experiment on my friends and they failed miserably. So I'm turning 35 and I sent all of my friends an email that said essentially like, hey, I'm single, I don't have any prospects, I don't know if I'm ever gonna get married. I have, attended everybody's bachelorettes, everybody's weddings, everybody's baby showers. Like, I just would like to do something to celebrate me because I don't know if I'll get another celebration, right? And the response was atrocious. Okay, so let me paint the picture. So it went to about 20 women, 25, and I would say like 2/3 or 70% are old friends and like 30% kind of women that I like was just getting to know. And honestly, I kind of was like testing out like, can I make good friends in my 30s that like will want to come to something like this? The response was abysmal. Okay, so I would say the vast majority didn't even bother replying, like literally no response, crickets, which was shocking, right? So that was the first group. The next group was the married women that have small children that like didn't even pretend to consider it, didn't even pretend to contemplate like getting a babysitter or something like that. The ones that are currently breastfeeding, I understand, but the ones that are not, like, okay, so husband can't watch the kids for a weekend away. Okay. One of them that I will never forget said verbatim, I cannot wait for your actual bachelorette party. That's gonna be so much fun. And I was like, oh my God. Okay. So truly all we are celebrated for is finding a man, and I will never get to be celebrated for anything else. They don't take any other requests for a birthday party seriously. Okay. Cool. So that was cool. And then, yeah, some of my friends that I traveled like all over the country and the world for didn't even respond. And the new friends, like most didn't respond. And one of them did and was an angel about it. And then I would say about 2 or 3 like bookmark the calendar. We're like, wherever, whatever we're doing, I'm there no matter what. Moral of the story, we live in a very misogynistic world still, and women are continuing this pattern and this legacy of the only thing that matters is when a woman celebrates ending up with a man. Like, they don't take her wanting to celebrate herself at all seriously. And that was really devastating. So anyway, that's the state of my friends. And yeah, if you've been wondering why I've been alone a lot the last few months, yeah, that one hurt. And I've just kind of like wanted to be alone because I give so much to my relationships and it's just not feeling reciprocated anymore. I guess I better get married if I ever want to be celebrated. Yay! I have to confess.
First of all, that was not a social experiment you played on your friends. You invited them to a birthday party, they didn't go, you got butthurt. That's essentially what happened in short. That little screenshot that she posted with her letter to her friends inviting them to the party, I took a screenshot of it myself and I zoomed it in so that way we can take a look at it together and see what she actually said in this particular email. All right, so this reads as follows. Hello, dearest friends. I hope you are all having a wonderful holiday season. As you may know, my 35th birthday is coming up in February on the 15th, and I want to celebrate it big time, in style, with some really cool women around me. And of course, I have chosen the most fitting of locations for this blowout, Miami. Yay, Miami. I added that last part. So, without further ado, you are cordially invited to my 35th birthday blowout bachelorette but manless weekend, because I hate the idea that it takes deciding to marry a man to be celebrated. So here's my FU to society. It will take place from Friday, February 20th to Monday, February 23rd, 2026. To sort of set expectations, I do expect this trip will be somewhat bougie. We will either stay at a hotel, and I can arrange for people to share rooms, etc., blah, blah, blah. So that's the end of that. You can see how this comes across, right? This is basically just another example of you hating men and you're pushing your ideology onto the people that are supposed to be closest to you. I want you all to be mindful about something. A good chunk of these friends are apparently married and have children. Do you really think that these group of women want to be around a man hater, somebody that constantly just dislikes men for whatever the reason can be? I'm not going to sit here and pretend that you never had any bad experiences that would give you this grievance towards men. Heck, you could have had a really bad breakup. Somebody could have done something particularly horrible to you. And if that's the case, my bad. I'm sorry, because I certainly don't condone that. I don't condone men behaving in a way that is not honorable. So if you really did go through something horrible that has led you to have this sort of mindset, my bad. But I'm just going to talk about this particular situation with the way you are treating your friends and the expectation that you have of your friends. First off, I will say it is a little messed up that you didn't get that many responses. I think if they are all adults, they at the very least should have the common courtesy to be like, hey, you know what? This sounds like a great idea, but I just can't make it. That would have been nice. And I think that if she would have gotten more responses like that, she might have been a little more okay with the rejection, which is essentially what happened. She was banished to the shadow realm by her friends, you know, and it's really kind of messed up. But think about it like this too. The expectations that you are setting on a group of people are not always going to be in your favor. You know, there might be socioeconomic issues here. Not everybody has a disposable income, especially if they are in a family, if they have children. Maybe they just don't got the money like that, or maybe they don't have it to just travel and spend their money frivolously in Miami. Miami of all places. You chose one of the most expensive cities in the United States to go have your party. Did you really expect even half of them to say yes and do this trip? And then you spoke about another group of friends that you had met kind of a little more recently. So people that I guess would be in your age range. You said you're 35. So these are people that are in their 30s, right? If you don't know these people very well, why would they take 3 days out of their lives, pay for a ticket to go to Miami, spend a bunch of it because you wanted to have a bougie bachelorette weekend? Did you really think that people you don't know for that long are going to make a commitment like that to you? Most people don't, especially when they are in a later stage of development in their life. When you're a full-fledged adult with bills and responsibilities, a lot of people aren't just going to willy-nilly go out and do that. Even if you think they're cool, they might be cool with you in certain settings. Y'all might go to the bar and get some martinis or a lounge, and y'all might have spent some time together, but that doesn't mean that they're going to throw away a whole weekend and a whole bunch of cash just to celebrate your birthday. Now, she did make a comment about one of her friends saying, I can't wait for your actual bachelorette party. The reason she said that wasn't because as a society, we only celebrate you when you're with a man. The reason she said that is because in your own letter, you said we were going to have a bachelorette manless event, you know, which means that you were portraying your birthday as some sort of bachelorette party. That's not what's happening here. She does make a follow-up video because this one went viral. So she tries to do sort of a damage control video. So we're going to check that one out.
So I had a video go pretty viral talking about my birthday party that I wanted to throw in Miami as a single girl who has not had, you know, a wedding or a bachelorette party, but has gone all over the world and country to celebrate her friends and just wanted to do something to celebrate myself back. So another thing that I just wanted to point out that I didn't mention in my original video is I did get actually a few responses from women that were like really on the fence of like, oh, yeah, I might be like changing jobs. I might have this, that, or the other thing going on. So I don't know. And the thing is, I've never seen that response for a bachelorette party, okay? Think about it. For bachelorettes, it's like, unless you have a really legitimate excuse of something going on that weekend, like you say yes, right? Because you're like, oh my God, it's a big deal. Like this is my friend getting married. And that same importance was not even remotely close to what was given to my birthday. It was viewed as kind of like a joke. It was like, oh, I might be changing jobs in the next 2 months. So yeah, I don't know if I can swing it. And it's like, okay, you would never say that if I was like, hey, I'm getting married. This is my bachelorette party. Never. So I just did want to point out really the difference in the way those things are treated, and that we still live in a society where the only thing that's celebrated and taken seriously is a woman deciding to give her life to a man. And I really hope that changes soon.
All right, so she essentially doubled down on what happened previously. Hey, that's okay. You're entitled to have your opinion, your perspective, and your mindset obviously didn't change, because even if you got the most mildest of backlash, you know, you would think that you would kind of take a second to regroup and kind of, with the benefit of hindsight, understand what was happening here. What I want to know is, how can you be sure? How do you know this for a fact that people wouldn't say no to a bachelorette party? Have all bachelorette parties been attended to by every single person that has been invited to them? I highly doubt it. And you know what? You might not want to hear this, and this might sound messed up, but your 35th birthday is not even a milestone birthday. If you were hitting your 40s, then I can see that, you know, happening possibly a little more, because 40 is a milestone. You hitting your 35th birthday is just a regular birthday to most people. And especially once, again, the way you framed it in your own message, you are expecting to be bougie. You want to have like a Sex in the City sort of scenario in Miami. Not a lot of people are going to be down with that, once more, especially if they have families. But you did decide to double down. And I want you all to fundamentally understand what's really going on here. Okay, she is what I like to colloquially refer to as a man hater. Okay, now, not all women are like this, and I don't want you leaving this video thinking that the internet is just full of women that dislike and hate men, because I don't really think that's the case. And I think this group of friends of hers are a perfect, you know, representation of that, because if that were the case, then they all would have banded together in some sort of sisterhood solidarity, and they would have went with her. But they didn't, because they probably don't want to be around that. Most people don't. If you've never touched grass in your life and you've been terminally online for like the last 5-10 years, then you would think that this is the way people are, but they actually aren't. A lot of people don't want to get political in their friendships. A lot of them want to just kind of get along with you for who you are as a human being and the experiences that you bring. You don't always want to bring political ideologies to the front page here. And once more, like I said, if you have a grievance and have been hurt by men, then I can understand that rage that you might have, and that's okay. But you can't superimpose that on other people that are in your circle. Not everyone has had that experiences. Some of them have probably had really pleasant experiences, especially those that have children. You obviously have never had a child, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with not having a kid, but for those people in your friend group that have kids, they're probably everything to them, and they would do anything for those children. So you can't really make the comparison, all right? This is not a whole black and white situation. There are shades of gray that I don't think you really considered. And if you leave this video thinking that I believe she's a man hater and it's unwarranted, I'm gonna show you one more video of hers that I think kind of seals the deal.
I have to say, by far my favorite iteration of me is the version that gives no about men. Like, I'm not even mad at them anymore. I'm literally just done. Like, we had to go through all the phases of grief together, you know, in the decentering process of like, WTF did I just gaslight myself into accepting for the last 35 years of my life? And then grieving how men just could not show up in the ways that they needed. And then being angry at them for like making the world shitty and unsafe for us. And now I just don't give a I don't care. Like, I do give a I do deeply care about the state of the world. It's bothersome. But in my own personal life, I'm like, I don't care. I'm so unbothered by you guys. I'm just so underwhelmed and unimpressed. And like, but it doesn't make me upset or mad. I'm just like so focused on me, on my own life, on my girls, like building new friendships, because you guys have seen I had to throw out quite a few. And I'm okay with that. I'm so okay with that. I'm like finally just good. Anybody else just not give a I have to say, but
she clearly does care, all right? Because you wouldn't have made this video and posted it on the internet for everybody to see if nobody actually cared. And you know what? Honestly, I think it's kind of crappy that you deaded your friends for not going to a birthday party. I'm sure there has been a point throughout the course of your life with the women that have been in your life that you have said no to for a certain event. And some of them might have even been birthdays, okay? Again, you can't expect everybody to just drop their entire lives to go celebrate your birthday. And again, it's a little narcissistic if you think about it, because you're just celebrating you for the sake of celebrating you. This is one thing that I've always kind of disliked about birthdays. You know, your birthday is the day you were born. That is the day that is celebrated. There's no birthday weeks, there's no birthday months, there's just a birthday, and you get one of those a year. And if you're lucky, lucky, you get to live to see another one of those. So once again here, she did kind of just show her fundamental dislike towards men. And you know what, heck, if that's who you are, be who you are. Nobody cares. But again, don't expect the people in your life to kind of just be okay with that. Again, like I said earlier, a good chunk of the people, just because you see this on the internet and you see all these like videos, these rage bait videos of women hating men and men hating women, it doesn't mean that that's the way the world actually is once you actually go outside and interact with people. You will run into them, because I certainly have. It does happen, but you also have the choice to not interact with them. Remember, there's always a choice. Whether you like it or not, you can choose to be around people that are going to be venomous in your existence, or you could choose to separate yourself from them. But be mindful that the choice you make is going to ultimately dictate your relationships with those people.